So the world has existed for billions of years, and we have had some pretty bad things happen to us in this span. But like, I'm not gonna talk about like events that we haven't really lived in, and I'm gonna talk about the 10 worst things that have happened to this world around like the last 20 years or so. So let's start. Number 10, we have the Xbox 360 and PS3 version of the Spider-Man 4 video game being cancelled. It was cancelled for obvious reasons, which was the fact the movie never got completed, and from what sources say, the game was eventually just like revamped into Prototype 2. So there's that. Like that's the one good thing that came out of it, but I would still call it a pretty bumming thing for the planet in general. On number 9, we have the Nintendo Wii port of Spider-Man 4 getting cancelled. Again, for obvious reasons, it was because the movie was never completed. And unlike the other version, this one never even got revamped into a different game, so of their efforts and time were ultimately wasted. And like for movie to game standards, and after what Spider-Man 3 ultimately was, it didn't look like that bad of a game, so that's a bummer. On number 8, we have ID, or perhaps Bethesda screwing over Mick Gordon and him not wanting to return to Doom 3 for the soundtrack anymore. And I think they have severely underestimated how important the sound design is to the Doom games and how it makes it what it is. So I think if they are going to make a third game, they should fill it Mick Gordon if they have to and bring him back. Otherwise, it won't feel like an actual proper trilogy anymore. On number 7, we have Venom being forced to inclusion by Sony, and Sam Raimi like openly saying he doesn't know what to do with the character, but still having to like add him in and ultimately ruining the last movie he got to give to his fans after something as iconic as Spider-Man 2. So that definitely sucked, and it ruined careers and broke hearts and whatnot, you know. On number 6, we have the coronavirus. Obviously, it's messed up, and it's forcing people to stay home and stuff, and also killing them. Of course, the killing is the worst part of it, not the staying home one. But and like I said, I'm only counting recent things, so this is one of the worst things that have happened to the world. And I'm not gonna count World War or Spanish flu or whatnot because we didn't really personally experience that, and I don't think any 8-year-old watches my videos, so there's that. So yeah, I mean, it really sucks, you know. On number 5, we have Tobey Maguire talking about Spider-Man 4 and like thinking that's gonna be made, and like talking about the plans and that they are going forward with it. And I mean, that's pretty heartbreaking. Obviously, like it was the main thing about his career, and it was the time people had to suck him off for good reason, of course. And you know, Sam Raimi really cared about the movie, and then he like even today he says like it's something that he regrets not being able to do, and he did want to make a movie like at least better than Spider-Man 3, if not as good as 2, but they never gave him the chance to, and wanted to rush out a sequel instead. And yeah, they really broke people there and ruined careers. And once he was not Spider-Man anymore, the entire media has bullied him into retirement pretty much by just saying that he's a washed-up dude and whatnot. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 being announced as a reboot, and you know, like existing after that as a reboot. I'm not saying the movie was bad, but the fact it was a reboot is one of the worst things that happened to the planet because Spider-Man 4 did not get to be made. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 pretty much just existing. Club Penguin being shut off, and the era of 2D kids virtual worlds ending in general. That was a big bummer because kids don't really have something like that anymore, and even if they did, they don't really like play those anyways. And they meant a lot to me, and I played those a lot in my life. So yeah, I mean, this definitely deserves the number 2 spot, and almost the number 1 spot of one of the worst things, or the worst thing happening to us in the last 20 years. And yeah, I'm glad the private servers are keeping it alive, sort of. The number 1 worst thing that has happened to this planet is the cancellation of Spider-Man 4. Sam Raimi was ready to make it. He wanted it to be bigger and better, and he wanted to like give something to the fans that make them forget that Spider-Man 3 was flawed as a movie, and uh, Sony didn't give him the chance. You know the story already. I even mentioned it a bit early in the video, and yeah, I mean this is one of the worst things that have happened to the planet, hands down. And I wish it was a thing. Maybe one day we find out about alternate dimensions and stuff, and we actually get to see it or something. I don't know. It's just depressing, you know, and one of the worst things, actually the worst thing that has happened to the planet. A close contender to keeping up with the Kardashians and whatnot. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video here, and I hope you agree with my point of view. But even if you don't, then it's cool, and I'll see you next time.